Okay, as we are discussing, JavaScript design principles will be going to have the layers. Okay, so it is going to have the product and it is going to be done. So all the components are going to be get together, and the functionalities are going to get executed. So grouping of those things that it can be done in design principles. So to do that, we need the different types of layers here. So it is a presentation layer, is a business layer, is a data layer is there. In the presentation layer, the outlook of that particular project. So there is a classes focused on their interfaces. So once you click on this, so next operation that should execute. So click on that, next operations. So like this, the operations are going to be neatly, it is going to be organized. In the business layer, we have the real world entities. So customers, products, sales, those things that we will be going to concentrate, and we will be going to catch that particular customers, and based on their requirement that we will be going to create the projects and sales. In the data layer, we have the actual data, which that is the inputs that it is going to be taken. So in this, data source is going to be input. You can be able to see that concepts over here. You can see that HTML is there, CSS is there, JavaScript is there. Okay, presentation it is. Okay, then validations are there. Then we have asynchronous operations are there, jQuery. So all together, you can say that it is a one good product that we can able to make it. Good product we can able to make it, because HTML and CSS are for the good presentations. Okay. JavaScript also is going to be there for the execution part of where the validations are going to be important in that. Okay, and here asynchronous and the framework of JavaScript is how that design is going to be there. So based on the design, that neat looking and execution of that particular operations is going to be taken care by this layers. How the programming is going to be done. So where does JavaScript go? It means to say that where exactly that it is going to fit into the application. Okay, so here we'll be going to embed the JavaScript into HTML program. Okay, so here there are three types of scripting languages are there in this: the inline script, okay, embedded, and external. All three types are going to be embedded in HTML. So here is a inline JavaScript. It is going to be in the HTML. Okay, inline JavaScript refers to the practice of including JavaScript code directly within the HTML attribute. Now you can see here example. Okay, AH reference. Okay, this is a tag. Anchor tag it is JavaScript open window. This is the function. More information is there. Okay, input type is button. On click, alert. Are you sure? So it means to say that this is a JavaScript. Open window is a function. When a button is being given here, on click of that button, it is going to display open window. Function is going to display that. Are you sure that it is being asked in that question? Okay, so it is on the same line. The JavaScript is being embedded here. Okay, in the embedded scripting JavaScript, so it is going to have separate script that you should write it. There is a tag is there. Embedded JavaScript refers to the practice of placing the JavaScript code within that particular script. This is a tag. So here is an example for that. Script type is text or JavaScript. Okay, alert, hello world. Script closes here. This is going to be written in the header part of the program or body part of the program. Okay, normally it is being written in the header part. Then external JavaScript. When this external JavaScript is going to be there, thing is that all the data, whatever that you are going to execute in the scripting, those things are written in separate file. Okay, and we'll be going to name it with the extension of .js. So hence only that it is being given here. So it is saying that JavaScript supports a separation from that program, it's the main program, in the external file. Okay, so here the conventions are going to be used as a .js file it is. So this is going to be embeds in the HTML header. Okay, script type is a JavaScript, text or JavaScript, source is greetings.js. One program it has been written, that is greetings.js. Okay, script closes here, head closes here. Means in the main program, in the HTML, JavaScript is embedded with the external JavaScript. In the external, that particular program is being embedded. Okay, any functions that you will be going to write it here, you will be going to call that program, automatically that it's getting executed here. Okay. Next, let us go to the syntax and semantic rules of the JavaScript. Okay, so there are so many syntaxes are going to be there. First of all, almost all the common programming language consists of variables, assignment, condition statement, looping statement, arrays. All these things are going to be there. Apart from that, this is going to consist of events and classes. Events and classes also. So let us discuss these things in the later presentation. Okay. So what is this script reputation? Okay. So everything is type sensitive in this. So how that program is going to be written is going to be said in this. Everything is type sensitive, including function, class and variable names. Okay. And scope of the variables in blocks is not supported. Okay. So within that only that it should work, that it is going to be there. So global declarations are going to be there in that. So according to that it is going to support. And this means variables declared inside the loop may be accessible outside of the loop also. Counter to what? The one word accept. Okay, means say that inside program, inside variables can be accessible outside variables also. Okay. So how these things are going to be done? So we'll see with the examples. Okay. So here is one operator is there. Okay, there is a 3 equal to operator it is. You can see there is a 3 equal to is there operator, which lets not only it is going to test the equality, but type also it should be correct. It means to say that I is equals to 10, it has been written. Okay, so whether I is equals to 10, both side that it is going to check that, okay, whether that 10 is an integer number and it is I is also an integer number. Suppose I is equals to double quote 10, if it is been written, it is not correct because 10 is a string. Okay, so I here is the integer which it has been declared over there, right? So in that case it is very difficult. So to make the equality, this operator is going to be existing. Okay. Null and undefined are two distinct different states, variables it is going to be. Okay. And here also null means it is 0, undefined means it is not 0. It is the variable itself, it is not defined. Semicolons are not required, but it is preferred because we must know that where exactly that it is going to end. You are not going to write also, it is going to be accepted. There is no integer type, only number it is going to be, which means a floating point. Okay. Rounding errors are going to appear in this, problems are there in this. Even with the values intended to the integers, the floating point when it is going to come, so there is a possibility of errors. How to avoid all these things, we can learn all these things. Okay. There are so many functionalities are there, built-in functions are there, we can learn them. Then what is variable? Variable in the JavaScript is a dynamically typed, it is, meaning that a variable can be integer, string, okay, it can become object. There are so many things that it can change. Okay. I is equals to 10, I is equals to double quote 10, I is equals to, okay, new date. Means the I itself will become that 3 different states that it can be. So one is an integer, one is an string, one is an object. So it can become anything.